We're back with another episode of Byron Scott's Fast Break. I'm Kid J. That's the coach, three-time NBA champion, Mr. Byron Scott. And Byron, I mean, the season's winding down.
Yes, it is.
The NBA season's winding down. A lot of chatter about playoff positions, MVP races. I see some tanking going on, possibly. We need to talk about some coaches.
Yeah,
I mean, we haven't had a true NBA talk in a minute since the All-Star debacle. We had Magic Johnson on the show just this past week. And
Buck Rome.
What an incredible episode that was.
That was great.
So thank you for bringing your Showtime buddy.
I want to thank my Showtime buddy for coming, along with my other Showtime buddies who have been here too. I mean,
almost all of them. We still need to get Rambo.
I got to holler back at Rambo. Cap is going to be hard.
Yeah, Cap is going to be hard. I understand. I mean, does Norman Nixon still like you, or doesn't he?
That's the thing that a lot of people think. Me and Norman cool, man. That's the thing. That's a trip. That me and Norman cool. We've been cool for a long time. We playing golf tournaments together and shit.
There we go.
Norm and Debbie was at the house when I had a gala event to raise money for the sickle cell disease. Norm and Debbie was at the house, and man, so it's crazy how many people really believe that we have some type of beef going. But me and Norm Nixon are cool as hell. That's a good brother. You know
what's cool about Norm is, I mean, even though he got traded to the Clippers, the JV team of Los Angeles, and they brought you in. He had a decent career with the Clippers to finish his career, but he's stayed an LA guy for life. Yeah. And he's been there with you guys through like all the Showtime events and whatnot. So you got to show the brother a lot of love.
Norm is, Showtime Laker. There's no doubt about that. He's, like you just said, when we had all of us come to Connecticut to join Michael Cooper and help him celebrate being inducted to the Hall of Fame. Norm was right there. I mean, pretty much every event. The one Showtime reunion, he missed that because he was him and Debbie had a prior engagement, so he couldn't make that because me and him talked on the phone. He was like, B, you going? I was like, yeah. He said, damn, we're going to miss it. We can't go. So, again, it's a misconception that people think that we have beef. Me and Norm are cool as hell, and he's always going to be a Laker.
NBA MVP race. Yeah. I mean, is this the most competitive race we've seen in a minute?
I think it is. It's a two-man race.
You think it's a two-man? I think it's a three-man, though.
Well, we're going to have to talk about it because I think it's SGA, and the Joker. I think that's the two-man race, and both of those guys have been playing phenomenal basketball. I'm interested to see and hear who is the third one that you think should be put in that category.
I think people are slipping and forgetting about Donovan Mitchell. Here's why. I understand Cleveland lost last year. They were an up-and-coming team. But they weren't that team until Donovan arrived. Number one. Mm-hmm. Right now, Cleveland is only one game behind OKC.
Mm-hmm. For the best record in the NBA.
For the best record in the NBA.
Correct.
They are so far ahead of Boston. OKC is so far ahead of Houston right now. So you're looking at the two best records in the East and the West. Cleveland just went on a 16-game winning streak, led by Donovan Mitchell. What did I say at the All-Star break when we talked about this? I said, watch out for Joker coming up in these last couple months. Denver's going to make their push, which he has. But we didn't talk about Donovan Mitchell. And I think everybody's been looking at SGA all year long, not taking away from him. He belongs there. Mm-hmm. He should be in the conversation. He was probably my number one pick up until right after the All-Star game. Then it turned to Joker. And then within the last 3 weeks, I'm like, well, people are forgetting about this brother over here in Cleveland. That's why he's taking that team to a whole new level.
I give you daps on that because he has definitely, and that is a name that I didn't even think about. And you're right. If you look at the whole body of work, you look at what Cleveland has done and what they've become, all of that is because of Donovan Mitchell being there.
Yes.
And obviously elevating some of the younger talent as well. But I think with all three of those names that we just mentioned, you got to have one thing in common with all three. You got to be able, as the star or an MVP in this league, to take over games. All three of those guys are able to do that. There's no doubt about that. So I give you that. The Donovan Mitchell name should definitely be in there. But for me, right now, SGA is the MVP.
I like your pick. He wouldn't be mine if I had a vote.
But you're going to raise him. Okay, let's say you have a vote. I'm thinking right now.
Today?
If you have a vote right now, today, my vote right now today is SGA. Right now today,
I'm
that's
writing in my vote right now.
Okay. But you ain't going to say it?
No, I'm going to say it.
Oh, okay. All right.
But I'm going to show it to you.
Okay. I wanted to see if you wanted to do one of those.
Go to the clipboard.
Go to the clipboard.
Nikola Jokic.
No, the Joker.
The Joker is my MVP right now because of the way he controls basketball games. I think he controls games better than any other player in the game today. Not taking away from SGA.
I'm about to say, because he controls the game pretty damn good, too.
Not
SGA.
taking away Donovan Mitchell.
Right.
Which I think Donovan Mitchell will not win this award because most of the people who have votes are media people. And everybody talks about SGA. Joker's finally coming into the mix. So I think it's a two-man race, but I think Donovan Mitchell should be there. He won't be. If I had to vote, it would be Joker because he's unstoppable. He's unstoppable with the ball in his hands. That team plays through him in every single possession. He's the best passing big man I've ever seen in my life. And the way, he just did it 30-20-20.
I know.
Literally last week.
Look, I wouldn't argue with you. To me, if either one of those guys won, I don't think anybody would be disappointed because both of them had unbelievable seasons. For me, SGA, from the start of this year up until this particular point, has been the most consistent player in the NBA. He has had this team on his back. Now, he has help. He has some other young guys that can flat out get it done as well. But he is the key to make this engine run when you look at OKC. So for me, the way that this kid plays and the way he's matured as a leader of this team, and I know the Joker's going to always be there. Joker could have a better year this year than the year he won the MVP and maybe not get it because a lot of times a lot of these writers also say, well, Joker got it the last 2 out of 3 years. Or let's give it to somebody else. Yeah, let's give it to somebody else. And that's kind of what I'm feeling. And because I think the last month or so, the Joker has elevated his game to a different level. Like you said, 30-20-20, first player ever in the NBA history to do something like that. The dude is unbelievable. Like you said, he is the best player on the planet. And I'm not going to say by far, but that's not a question. He is the best player on the planet. But SGA, what he's brought to the table this year with OKC and the fact that OKC has the best record in the NBA, that, for me, gives him a little bit of a nod.
Before we get off of this, I'm just going to throw one more thing in there. OKC is number 1 in the West. Denver's flirting around 4, 5. The Nuggets are 4. I want to take you back to the days you played.
Okay.
In the 80s, I was with the Lakers in the 90s during the Kobe Shaq era. There was a mentality amongst, and I'll say it, amongst Laker players that we could turn it on anytime we want. I think Denver and Joker is that team.
You think they got that mentality?
I think they have that mentality. I think they're that team of what the Lakers of the 90s with Kobe Shaq and the Showtime Lakers were back then. And because of that, I think that kind of, in my eyes, that may put Joker ahead of SGA because SGA has not won.
True.
And how difficult is it going to be for them to get out of the West this year?
Who, OKC?
And we'll talk about, the playoff standings now. Yeah. And that's another reason why I put Joker ahead of SGA at this point in time.
It's going to be very difficult because the West is so talented.
Yes.
Like you said, you look at Denver at 4. You look at Houston, a young, hungry team at 2. You look at the Lakers at 3. With an aging LeBron who still hasn't slowed down at 40 and Luka playing unbelievable and Austin Reeves just balling. So it's not going to be easy to get out of the West. I don't care who it is. OKC is the number 1 seed or the number 4 seed. It's not going to be easy. But like when you said being able to turn it on, the one thing that I would say, and I think Mike Malone has done an unbelievable job at Denver, the players might feel that way. Man, we know we could turn on anytime we want to, but the coaches don't feel that way. Pat Riley was like, no, I don't want to hear that shit. You can't turn on anytime you want to turn on. It ain't no light switch. Yeah. So I'm going to make sure I push you to be the best you can be every single night. So we ain't got to worry about turning it on. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think you're right with Denver. They feel we won a championship. We know what it takes to get there. We know what it takes to win. We just gearing up for the playoffs. We're going to start playing our best basketball a week or two before the playoffs start. So they're trying to turn the light switch on, which, OKC don't have a light switch. They just on because they don't know no better.
Yeah.
They just on.
Facts.
So I love the analysis of Denver being able to turn it on because I know Mike Malone is one of those coaches that's hard-nosed. He's a Pat Riley type coach, very hard-nosed, disciplined, and straightforward with his players, and he'll let them know, no, there ain't no be none of that turn on. We got to get ready now. We can't wait till the playoffs start. Because if they wait till the playoffs start, they might be in the 5th spot, right? So you got to start playing your best basketball right now to make sure that you're playing at the top level when the playoffs start.
Let's talk about those playoff seedings right now. Mm-hmm. Legitimately, where do the Lakers need to seed in the West for the easiest path to get to the championships? And I'm going to ask the same question about Boston because those are the two storied franchises. Right. So we're looking at the West and we're looking at the East. Right. But we'll start with the Lakers.
I think the 2 seed. The 2 seed. I think the fact that if they can get the 2 seed and avoid playing OKC until the finals, which means they have more experience, way more experience than OKC at that particular time. OKC hasn't really got to that point yet, but we see that they're obviously, going upward. I think would be the easiest pass. And what I just said earlier, ain't no easy passes.
Not in the West.
Ain't no easy path to the Western Conference Finals or to the NBA championship game or series in the West. Yeah. It's just going to be hard because no matter what, if they're the 2 seed, they're playing the 7 seed, right?
Yeah.
That ain't going to be no joke. Whoever that might be right now, and that's going to probably change as we go on. That could be.
It could very well be Golden State.
Yeah.
It could be the Warriors, Clippers, Timberwolves,
it could be the Clippers.
Kings.
Yeah,
Suns.
It's a bunch of teams that are Golden State's balling.
Yes.
Minnesota's balling.
Minnesota could possibly.
You know what I'm saying? So there's a bunch of teams that are balling. The Clippers just beat Cleveland.
Yeah.
So they're a team that can be very dangerous. So it's not going to be no easy path whatsoever. But I don't think you want to fall to the 3 spot where you have to go through Denver. You have to then go through OKC and stuff like that. It just makes it that much harder.
Well, they very well, even at the 2 seed, depending on where the Nuggets fall, Denver Nuggets fall, they could see them in the second round.
They could.
That's the next question. Do the Lakers want to see Denver again, who has knocked them out?
Right.
2 of the last 3 years?
Yeah, I think so. I really do. I think this Laker team now feels,
this is the one.
Feels we can beat them.
Okay.
And they've proven it the last 2 out of 3 games that they've played them, right? With Luka now coming on board, I think this Laker team feels that, number one, I don't think they fear anybody in the West. That's number one. But number 2, I think they feel now that they're better equipped to handle Denver than they have been in the past. And I think right now they have so much confidence in the way they're playing the game of basketball. They win 8 straight when Luka gets here. They lose 4 in a row. They come back home. And I know we as media people, and I was doing the Spectrum game with James Worthy, and we talked about, okay, that Phoenix and San Antonio are going to be pivotal games for those guys. They got to win at least one. Well, they won both.
Yeah, they got them both.
Right, and then we said they got to play Denver, and then they got to play Milwaukee, and they got to win 1 or 2 of those. Well, they just beat Denver again. So I think this team right now has so much confidence in the way they're playing that they feel they can beat anybody.
And I'm going to add one more nugget to that. I think they've won 8 or 9 home straight games. Mm-hmm. I think the Lakers are going to be better on home court this year. So that number 2 spot is very pivotal for this squad.
Yep.
Okay, West. We're just talking to West. We'll go to East in a second. Mm-hmm. Legitimately, who you got coming out of the West?
Man.
Today.
Everything considered equal. Everybody's healthy, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I got the Lakers.
You got the Lakers. I love that.
I do. I got the Lakers. Healthy, LeBron back. The groin is completely, I won't say completely, but 90% healed.
Well, he had that same groin injury.
I know.
A few years ago and didn't make it back.
I know. That's why I'm so happy with the way they're playing right now, because that means you can give him extra rest to make sure this thing is completely healed when the playoffs start. You know what I mean? So Lakers completely healthy with LeBron playing at that high level, the way Austin Reeves is playing. The guy that I think is vital for them is Jackson Hayes.
Oh, he's playing out of his mind.
I think he's vital for them because he sets great screens, he rolls, he creates havoc on the offensive end because you have to either bump him or switch with him or something, and then he's on the offensive board. So I like what they've been doing all season long, but especially since this trade. So I'm going to go with the Lakers.
Talk about Jackson Hayes being in the perfect situation.
Man, you talking about a brother that should be like, man, Rob Pelinka, thank you so much, dog.
No,
every time he see Rob, he should be giving him a hug.
Him to dinner,
he should be giving him a hug every time he see him.
Buying his kids gifts.
Yeah,
hey, Rob, I got something for you.
I got something for you. What's this for? For no reason.
Just because.
Just because, exactly. Because again, like you said, you trade away AD, you bring in Luka, you throw him in that starting spot, and all he has to do is set great screens and roll to the basket.
And he's doing it phenomenally.
And he does a great job. And he's so athletic. I mean, he gets up and down the floor. On the defensive end, he's a presence.
Yeah.
Which is what you need. He's a presence. But I mean, man, when you got LeBron and Luka, and you set and pick and throw in there Austin because he does a good job of throwing lobs to him as well, you just put the defense in such turmoil because they have no idea what to take away.
And the rotation.
And rotation.
And
once they get out of rotation,
already up in the air before the rotation even comes over.
Yeah, he's already up. So, and most of the time when the rotation guy is coming, it's a guy that's 6'4", 6'5", 6'6". Mm-hmm. He's 6'10", 6'11", and he's jumping out the gym. Yeah, he can't meet him up there.
Yeah.
So it's too late. Yeah. So, I mean, I love what he's been able to do with the team this year. And, I mean, you got two guys that have elevated his game to a different level.
You heard it. Byron Scott's pick coming out the West is the Lakers.
LA.
If healthy.
Purple and gold, baby.
If healthy. Let's talk about the East.
Yeah.
The Celtics. We'll start with the Celtics, NBA champions. Mm-hmm. We don't like that. We do not like that. Everybody said there's just no way anybody in the East could beat the Celtics earlier this year. Mm-hmm. A lot of people have proven that wrong. A lot of teams have beaten them, including the East leading Cavaliers, Cleveland, which I called the dark horse earlier in the season, before the season started, because of what they did last year. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I believe Cleveland has a chance to possibly take on Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals and push it all the way to the end.
I agree with you.
Okay.
I really do. I mean, I think watching them play Boston in Boston last week or a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago, whatever the case may be.
They were down.
Down big.
17?
Yeah,
13,
down
15,
big.
13?
Yeah, down big and came back and won that game in Boston. Right there, to me, solidified the fact that they now feel that they can beat them. Mm-hmm. And Boston got the, championship pedigree. They got the trophy and all that good stuff, which is great. I think Boston has been really missing Drew Holiday because he is one of the best defensive perimeter defenders in the NBA, and they miss him. So when he's back, obviously they're going to be a better basketball team. Boy, you're going to be shocked because I'm picking Cleveland to be in the finals.
You are picking Cleveland?
I'm picking Cleveland to be in the finals.
Officially?
Officially. Lakers and Cleveland. I got them in the finals.
Wow, you heard that.
Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked if it's Boston and Denver or something. I wouldn't be shocked. I'm just saying. But my wish, I guess, is I want the Lakers against the Cleveland Cavaliers in the NBA Finals.
Do you know what storyline that would write?
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
If LeBron
coming back home,
going to Cleveland and winning as a Laker, where he's won a title before, that would be an incredible storyline.
NBA would love that.
I like that matchup as well, and that's the matchup I would like to see.
But
I just don't know.
I love that.
Today, early April, I just don't know. Just because I've seen championship pedigree teams.
Oh, yeah.
They know when to turn it on. I've been a part of those teams. I'm part of 5 NBA championships.
Yeah.
I've seen a team that's going 4th or 5th in the West just dominate in the playoffs. I was part of a team that has the best playoff record ever, went 15-1 in the whole NBA playoffs.
Yeah,
Lakers.
I remember.
The only loss was to Philadelphia for game
Iverson.
1.
Yeah, I remember.
Allen Iverson stepping over Ty Lue. I'm in that photo, by the way.
Yeah, I saw you two sitting on the bench right there.
I've seen it happen. So my mind tells me Denver has that pedigree in the West. And unfortunately, I hate to say it, but Boston has that pedigree in the East.
So that's what you're saying? You're going with Boston and Denver?
I'm not going with that.
You said pedigree, both of them.
Both of them. I'm afraid that mentality could elevate them in the playoffs on both sides, the East and West.
Okay.
But my My gut is telling me it's going to be Lakers and Cleveland.
Okay. I'm going to reserve the right to change my mind.
Oh, we're going to have another show
in a month or so. I'm just saying. I'm going to reserve the right to change my mind in a month, just in case, because it might be injuries or something. I'm just saying.
Okay, so what lower seed teams are we missing in the East and or the West that could possibly bump off these 4 teams we've talked about? Because basically we've talked about 4 teams.
Right.
Lakers, Boston, Denver, Cleveland.
Right.
We feel that combination of them 4 teams will possibly be in the NBA Finals. Mm-hmm. What lower seed teams should we be looking at?
When you say lower seed, we're talking about 5th seed on down or 6th seed on down. So I'm going to say in the West, Clippers and Minnesota.
Clippers and Minnesota.
I think those 2 teams you got to worry about because you already mentioned it. The Clippers do have a guy on there that's won a couple of championships.
Yes,
so he has that pedigree. His problem is staying healthy, right? So if
is he going to be there?
In that too. I mean, that's the other thing. So if Kawhi Leonard is all bought in and Kawhi Leonard is healthy, the Clippers can beat anybody. They can. They can beat anybody. Can they beat them in a 7-game series? That's going to be the icing on the cake. We'll see if they can do that. Minnesota has proven that they can play with anybody in the playoffs. Anthony Edwards comes to life. Ant-Man
on the big stage.
Comes to life on the big stage. And he's an old school mentality type player. You know, he's got the new Jack City attitude, but he's an old school guy where he wants to play every game. You know, he's one of those guys. He has that mentality. So those 2 teams, and with Minnesota, the way they play defense, the Clippers, the way they play defense, the Clippers have another plus who's not there right now in Ty Lue, one of the best coaches in the league. So they have a lot of pluses. Minnesota, I think too, because they got star power and they got guys on the defensive end that can guard you. Jobert back there blocking shots, and if he ain't blocking them, he's changing them. So he's a presence.
And
so
they were there last year in the Western Conference Finals. They lost to Dallas.
Yeah, they were there. So I think that's another team. And right now, as of today, they've been playing lights out the last 8-9 games. So they're revving it up. So I think for me in the West, those 2 teams can be scary. Okay,
gotcha.
And I think the West has more teams that can be scary than the East does. But when you look in the East, I would say the one team, I say New York.
Brunson hobbling.
Yeah, but if he's healthy, again, if Bronson's healthy and you got Cat, they got a chance. They got a chance because Bronson, we already know, man, playoff time.
He's a pit bull.
He is a pit bull.
Yes, he is.
The only problem with Cat is he's a cat.
You got a pit bull and a cat.
You got a pit bull and a cat. Now, hopefully they grew up together because you know what a pit bull would do to a cat. But, I mean, if Cat was a dog, man, oh, my God, it'd be a different story. But Cat got game. Cap is, hey, this man can score, in the post, mid-post, 3-point range. I mean, he's got game. So he helps New York get to a different level. So I'm going to take Indiana out of that because I just don't think they're what they used to be. Last couple, not Minnesota, but Milwaukee because of their pedigree in winning championships. We know Giannis, the freak, is just one of those guys that's going to come with it every single night.
They've been on a losing streak lately, though.
Yeah, I know, but they got time.
Okay.
They got time. But New York, those 2 teams I wouldn't really want to face in the Eastern Conference.
Can I throw a young team in there that might be scary?
Yeah.
Detroit Pistons.
Yeah, I was about to say. I said he either going to throw in Detroit on the East or Houston on the West. It's one of those 2.
I don't think Houston's ready. But there's something about this Detroit team. They're coached very well. They have a star, Cade Cunningham.
Yes, they do.
Who will be probably a top 5 player within the next year or 2. They're hungry. They don't know what it's like to win, and they're going out there right now and just balling. Those are scary teams.
When a team like Detroit and JB Bickerstaff, who's done an unbelievable job, right now I would think he would be coach of the year. To me, he would be coach of the year. And that's
even
not
the Lakers coach, JJ Redick?
That's not taking away anything from JJ. That's not taking anything away from what's my boy at Houston, who's done Udoka.
Yeah.
Those guys have done unbelievable jobs. But when you win 14 games last year and you find yourself in the 6th spot the next year, and they've already won 23, 24 games more than they did last year, and we're still not done.
Yeah.
So they can improve, on where they are in the standings in the Eastern Conference right now, and obviously they can drop as well. But the Detroit Pistons are scary because, like you said, they young, they hungry, and they don't know no better.
Yeah.
They don't know they ain't supposed to be there.
They're just going out there and
They're
hooping.
just going out there and hooping. That's the fear of playing teams like that because they got nothing to lose. They got no fear whatsoever, and they're going to go out there and just play hard, and they're going to play fancy-free and loose and just enjoy each other, and you're going to have to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to beat them. So that's a scary team. You're right. The Detroit Pistons are scary. Which
coach is doing the best job this season?
Well, I already think it's JB, with Detroit. I think he's done the best job. We got a lot of initials, JB, JJ. We got all this.
A lot of J's up in here.
JJ with the Lakes. JJ Redick has done a great job with the Lakers. There's no doubt about that. Deco at Houston has done a great job. But we also got to show some love. Kenny, who was at Brooklyn and then went to Toronto. Man, he's found a home in Cleveland because he's got these guys balling. And what I like about what Coach Atkinson has done in Cleveland is that everybody's bought in. Donovan is one. We know how great he could score, but Donovan has let his productivity go down a little bit to get everybody else involved. Mm-hmm. And now these, it's almost
young players,
Mobley. Yeah, I mean, it's balling. Like, you know what, guys, we all gonna eat. So he's and then I'll do what I do when I have to. Yeah, that's kind of how he is right now. And you got to love the fact that his maturity from a leadership standpoint has really, really blossomed this year. And you don't get that accidentally. Coach had to obviously sit down with him and say, this is what we need you to do. Kind of like when Magic was here last week and he said, Rouse told him to come in and let's talk. You need to score more.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think Coach went to Donovan and said, you need to score less and get more guys involved.
Yeah.
And it's been a beautiful, process of watching this guy and watching this team develop.
I wrote in my notes here, and I'm going to kind of deflect my own notes. A shift in the NBA towards defense because we were talking about coaches. And, coaches, everything is like defense wins championships. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I know coaches go in saying, we got to win on the defensive side of the ball. I was going to say, are we starting to see a little shift towards defense now that we're getting closer and closer to the playoffs? Until I went to the Laker game last night in the whole first quarter. The whole first quarter was nothing but three-pointers.
Yeah. But I think that's regular season. When the playoffs start, you know how every possession, and every possession is that much more important. Mm-hmm. And the team's first, second, and third option. You're going to take those away, and you're going to make them go to that fourth and fifth option. And great teams are able to do that, right? Yeah. So the defense is going to be more important in the playoffs because of the fact that now you get a chance to say, all right, we got a 7-game series against this team. We're gonna look at everything they do, and we're gonna see their tendencies, what they run the last 2 minutes of every game, what they do during timeouts. You're gonna get all that, by watching all these games during the season and be able to break it down and say, okay, we got to take this away, this away, this away. And once you do that, that's how much more important the defense becomes in the playoffs. Also, though, once the ball goes up and you rebound, that's how much more important it is to get out and run and get easy buckets before the defense gets set. Because once they get set, they know what you're running.
Yeah.
So get out and get as many easy buckets as you can. That's why our basketball style never changed. Because we know, okay, you know what we're running, but, when you miss or you turn it over, your chances of getting back and stopping us are slim and none.
Offense is great, but I think as a coach, I know from being in the NBA, college, and high school, I know deep down defense is what's going to put a team over the top.
Absolutely.
OKC, number 1 in defense.
Absolutely.
Lakers, number 3.
Or 3, yeah.
They're 3. They're number 2 and number 1 in a lot of categories since the Luka trade. But number 3 overall, Cleveland is right there at number 4.
You go back in history and look at NBA champs, even Golden State. When Golden State was winning championships, everybody was so focused on the Splash Brothers and all the 3. But they were a top 5 defensive team every year. Yep. San Antonio, top 5 defensive team every year. That's why Draymond was so important to that team. Exactly. Even go back to the 2000 early 2000s when I had the Nets. We were top 5 defensive team in the NBAs. That's why we got to 2 NBA finals, right? Yeah. We just ran into 2 teams that was just much better than we were, San Antonio and the Lakers, right? And they were top 5 in the defensive categories those years. So you go all the way back to 1975, 1980. Every champion has been somewhere in that top 5 on the defense. And so it's not going to change. I mean, offense is glorified, for good reason.
Yeah.
But defense still wins championships. You go to Major League Baseball. Why do they pay so much money for these damn pitchers? Get these batters out. That's defense.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not going to change. It's going to be the same.
I want to go back to the Lakers and talk about LeBron. 40 years old.
Yeah.
Literally, I think Luka has rejuvenated his life, his basketball skill set, whatever he's doing on the court. I know he's injured right now, but I think they're sitting him on purpose, just giving him extra rest.
I hope so.
Gearing up for the playoffs.
I hope so.
I think he can play today if he really wanted to.
Yeah.
40 years old, easily top 5 player in the NBA. Easily. You've been around a 40-year-old.
Yeah.
In your playing days. You've coached somebody that was 40 years old as well. Have you ever seen somebody 40 play like this?
Mm-mm. And not even close. Again, and I'm a big LBJ fan.
Yeah.
I love this man. I love what he's been able to do in his whole career. I love what he does off the court as well. What he does with his family, how he's so involved with his kids. I love almost everything about this man and what he does on the game, in the game of basketball. But I've never seen nobody at 40 years old
dominate like he has.
Play the way he plays. I haven't. Being able to still, every guy that gets 36, 37, 38, they have a slight decline in their productivity on the basketball court. This man is like this. It's 28, 9, and 7, 27, 7, and 8 the next year. It's no decline. So it's amazing to me to watch. And every game that I watch and every game that I do on Spectrum with James, my boy Clever, and he plays, we're sitting there going, man, how the hell this dude do this at 40 years old?
Yeah.
But I agree with you, the fact that Luka being here has rejuvenated LeBron, in a way of, I don't have to do as much.
Yeah.
I can give him the ball and let him create for other players. And LeBron is so damn smart. I can play off the ball. I know how to cut. I know how to set a screen. I know how to do all those things. I'm a basketball player, right? So I think Luka being here has definitely rejuvenated his game. And but no, I ain't never seen no damn 40-year-old. I'm almost like, and it is even on the show where you almost get lost for words to describe what you're watching, because he is really that amazing.
How many more years you think he has left in him? Because Bryce he's going to be a freshman. He's going to be a freshman
at University of Arizona.
Arizona.
Bryce, I love you, but you went to U of A, dog. Arizona State.
Yeah.
But I ain't mad at you, Bryce. I ain't mad at you. I feel you, bro. But Bryce might be one and done. Bryce can play. He's long. He's athletic.
Are we going to talk about both sons in the NBA with LeBron still playing?
You know what? I don't think that's
out of the realms.
Out of the realm. I really don't. Jay, I'm watching him play, and I'm like, he could play 2 more years easy. And I mean easy.
I actually think he could probably go to 43.
Oh, I think so too, but I'm just saying he can 44. Play 2 more easy. I think LeBron, when he says he's ready to give it up, it's not going to be because of injuries. It's not going to be because of his love lost for the game of basketball, or he just don't like competing anymore. We know that ain't happening. It's going to be, he's going to walk away because he's just ready to walk away.
Hand the ball to his kids.
He's going to be like, yeah, guys, have fun. Luka, it's you now. It's you now. I'll come watch every now and then because you're a big fan anyway of basketball. So, I just see him playing. For sure, he could play 2 more. It's just, I think it's really totally up to him on how much longer he wants to play.
Okay. I want to get to, we talked about this at the All-Star break. Mm-hmm. We talked about the faces of the NBA. Mm-hmm. International players have been pretty dominant, but should an international player be the face of the NBA, which is in the United States of America? Anthony Edwards came out and says, I don't want it. I just want to go ball. Mm-hmm. John Morant came out and said, not my thing. Let Anthony Edwards handle that. Everybody forgot about Jason Tatum, but there's this stigma about Jason Tatum. Like, he may not even be the best player on his own team, which we know is not the case.
I'm about to say that's not true.
But Team USA over the summer does not help his case.
No, I agree. I agree.
What Steve Kerr and those assistant coaches did to that man.
Yeah.
I am going to throw in an absolute curveball for you, Byron.
I'm ready. I used to hit curveballs like it ain't nothing, so go ahead.
Well, I'm going to see how you're going to hit this one.
Okay, go ahead.
I think the face of the NBA is going to be a guy named Cooper Flagg.
Oh, God dang. Woo, you're right.
Out.
Strike one, because I missed that curveball right there. Woo, okay.
Hear me out.
I'm listening. I want you to explain this one to me.
Okay. Cooper Flagg popped up on the scene last year against Team USA and gave him the business. A few of those Team USA players came out and said, whoa, who is this 17-year-old kid giving us the business? We saw highlights. I saw highlights.
Yeah.
Boy was balling. He goes to Duke. Let's just be real. It's one and done. It's going to be one and done. I don't even think it matters where Duke ends up finishing in this NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
Cooper Flagg is going number one. The reason why I brought up tanking, there's some teams out there. There's some teams out there.
You did bring that up. That's not a word the NBA. Hey, Adam Silver is no. Adam, Jay said that. Kid Jay said that. I didn't say nothing about tanking.
I'm going to say it. Washington Wizards, I'm looking at y'all.
Well, they've been tanking all year then.
Utah Jazz, I'm looking at y'all.
Okay.
There's some teams out there that I believe that are sitting some of their stars longer than they should be sitting.
Okay.
Because there's a guy named Cooper Flagg out there. Last time we saw this was a guy named Wembanyama. Wembanyama is not from the United States of America.
That is true.
Cooper Flagg is. I saw something the other day. They had Cooper Flagg's face superimposed with an American flag right behind him. Hear me out.
You people something else, boy.
Hear me out.
I swear to God. Okay.
He's the biggest noise we've heard in college since.
Wow. Yeah.
Wembanyama didn't even play.
College. Yeah. So
for a minute, he's American. He's making noise. I hate to say it. He's white. How come he can't be the face of the NBA?
He might can
he's
be
balling.
He might can be in 5 years from now, but not coming right out. That ain't happening. Coming right out, it ain't happening. I mean, okay, and I'm gonna go back to your list. Anthony, like he said, he don't want it. John Moret, who I'm a big fan of, I don't think they would give it to you anyway because of the gun charge. They ain't putting you on there as face of the face of the NBA. They ain't doing that. They hold their status in this world a little bit higher than that. They're not going to put a guy who carried guns and all that stuff on as their NBA, guy who's going to carry the torch, so to speak. Cooper Flagg's an interesting name, but it's a name that still has to get here. Number one, still has to prove that he can ball in the NBA, which we already know that's going to be easily proven because that kid can flat out play.
Wembanyama, before he got here.
Yeah.
What? Look at all of that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Cooper Flagg is as hype as Wembanyama, but right now there's an identity crisis in the NBA.
No, I agree. I agree.
And this is the best young man, 18, 19 years old. I don't know how old he is, but he's 18, 19, somewhere in that realm. 1 year removed at Duke. Duke's the best. They say Duke is the best team. They're number one, ranked number one.
Yeah.
The reason why they're number one is because of this kid. There's a couple other great players on that team. There's another freshman on that team that's absolutely incredible.
Who's probably one and done as well.
Yeah, they're both top five players. Well, Cooper Flagg's number one. He's probably in the top five.
Yeah.
Why can't that man come in here and all of a sudden, Caitlin Clark? I hate to use the analogy, but Caitlin Clark did it. How come Cooper Flagg can't do it?
Good question. But just for me, just out of sheer respect for the guys that are here.
Okay.
Out of sheer respect, you don't bring no rookie in. I mean, first of all, he's a target next year. They're going to be going at him.
We know that.
You know that.
Yes.
We done seen it for so many years. He's going to have to prove, and he will, because like you said, we saw him give them the business at 16, 17 years old, and then he goes to Duke and gives everybody else the business. He leads Duke in scoring, rebounding, assists, block shots.
Wow.
I'm like, God dang. I ain't never seen that.
Yeah.
So the kid's amazing. There's no
Have you
doubt
seen
about
his
it.
wingspan?
Wingspan is unbelievable. What, 7'2", something? I mean,
it's amazing.
It's unbelievable. So, and he could put it on the floor, gets to the back.
And he could do it back to the basket, in front of the, facing the basket. He could do it in all different directions.
He's got the total package. And we haven't seen that in a long time. So he's going to come in the league. It's a big deal. Ain't no doubt about that. But he's going to have to wait his turn.
Okay.
I don't know who that's going to be, as far as the face right now, but he's going to have to wait his turn.
You, for sure, will be coaching in 3-4 years somewhere.
Mm-hmm. On the collegiate level.
Yeah, I may be right there next to you.
You might be. You're right.
But mark my words. I'm going to call it today.
Okay.
Your next face of the NBA is sitting at Duke right now. I'm saying it right now.
Wow.
I know I throw a curveball at you.
You messed me up on that one. I ain't going to lie.
All right, we got to get out of here. Brackets. You got the brackets in front of you. Who you got in the Final Four?
Who
you got in the Final Four? I got my Final Four. And I got my
yours?
winner. I'll go ahead and say mine.
You got a winner too?
I got a winner. I'm going to tell you who my Final Four teams are.
Okay.
I got Michigan State, Florida, Duke, and Houston. I'm going with Florida and Houston in the finals.
Whoa. And who you got winning?
Florida.
Whoa.
I have Florida winning. I said it. I got Florida winning.
All right. Well, I haven't even done my bracket, so I'm going to go home tonight and do it. I could pretty much tell you I probably won't have Florida winning because Jaden already took it. So I probably won't have Florida winning, just to let y'all know. But man, that's Michigan State, Florida, Houston,
Duke.
And Duke in the Final Four.
That's what I have. I think that's going to be an amazing Final Four.
That would be
Michigan State and Florida versus Duke and Houston. Duke and Houston would be battling for the finals.
If that was to happen, I would say I would go with Michigan over Florida because I love Coach Izzo.
Yeah.
Coach Izzo, man, he gets these guys going during the tournament.
He's amazing.
Coach Izzo's a bad man.
Collegiate level. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. That's hard.
You also know from the get-go, it's going to be some upsets in this. In the first round, the second round, it's going to be some upsets. So
I agree.
I'm going to try to pick those upsets. And when I get my Final Four in my champion, I'll go on my social media and let y'all know.
Yeah. You heard it. Byron's going to go on his social media and let you guys know what the Final Four is. I let you know who I got. Girls, real quick, you want to make a prediction on the girls?
You know what? First of all, the girls, this is probably going to be the toughest one in a long time because you got Notre Dame, you got South Carolina, you got UCLA, you got USC, you got UConn. You got some ballers on these teams.
A lot of people are complaining about the girls' brackets because SC and UConn will see each other in the Elite Eight if both teams make it that far, which we know they will.
Yeah. That should have been a Final Four.
Which should have been a Final Four. Mm-hmm. They did it last year as well. I mean, you got the two best players in all of college basketball, Juju, buckets.
Yeah.
They're going to see each other in the Elite Eight. Yeah. Why?
Yeah, they messed that up.
Why? It was just like last year with the Caitlin Clark and the Reese.
Reese, yeah.
Yeah, Reese.
Or 2 years ago, whatever.
You're right. It's the same thing. You got to meet them in the Final Four. So preferably in the finals.
Yeah, it kind of goes to tell you that the people that are doing the bracket for the women don't know what the hell they're doing.
I'm not going to 100% say that, but you know, it's kind of questionable.
You don't have a clue on how to put this brackets together where you get superstars playing against each other in the Final Four or in the final game.
Yeah.
Not in the Elite Eight or the Sweet 16. I mean, because again, you're losing fans once those players are out. You're losing fans. You're losing viewership.
I hear the logic behind it is, okay, UConn is not as high as UCLA, South Carolina, USC, and what's the other one I'm missing? Texas.
Texas, yeah.
I think that's who I'm missing. But you still don't put UConn in the same bracket as SC, which the two best players play on those two teams.
Yeah, I don't get it.
You put UConn in Texas's bracket. Maybe even South Carolina's bracket. Mm-hmm. You put them in another bracket. You don't, because that collision course between Juju and Paige Buckets, I call her Buckets.
Paige is a bad girl. Yeah, Paige is bad, boy.
I mean, that's must-see TV.
Yeah. I mean, it was must-see last year.
Yeah. I'll get off my high horse.
Get off your high horse. But anyway, yeah, and I'm going to pick my women's bracket too.
Okay.
I'm going to pick my women's bracket. That's going to be a tough one, though. Because, you know what? It's hard for me to go against South Carolina.
It's hard for me to go against USC.
Yeah, but I would love for that to be.
They're going to run into UCLA again.
I know, but I would love South Carolina and SC in the finals. That would be
that would be
real.
That's must-see TV, too.
That would be unreal. And that's what I'm hoping. So I'm going to fix my bracket to get it to that point where South Carolina and Juju and them SC Trojans in the finals.
You heard it here. Byron Scott, this is a Fast Break Show. We got to get up out of here. We'll see you on the next one.
Peace.
Thank you for watching Byron Scott's Fast Break. If you like what you saw, here's some more videos. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.